Hello and welcome to the Decibel Boost Podcast, the official music podcast for the website Surreal Resolution. I'm your host, as well as the dankest memer you will ever meet, Robert. And with me, I have...
You have Alex, and this isn't even my final form.
And...
The fusion of Steven Universe, Don Glover, and Apple Samurai, aka me, Mark.
Ooh, very nice. I like that one.
Well done.
We're recording this on Wednesday instead of Monday like we usually do because some stories I'll get into later. Geez, I hope I can get this podcast done because of freaking Hurricane Matthew, which we have to worry about down here.
Yeah, you're kind of in that area, which...
Pretty directly. And the worst part of it is, if you've seen the weather projections, the way it looks, okay, it's going to, pass over Florida, then it's going to, veer off to the right, then loop back around and hit Florida again, apparently.
Damn.
It's like Hurricane Matthew and Hurricane Matthew 2. This time, it's personal.
It's God's way of saying get out of Florida. To everyone.
Oh, come on. Like, I'm not trying. It's not like you need a hurricane as an excuse to evacuate Florida.
Yeah, you got a point there.
So, before we get into everything, all the music and the news, I actually have a little bit of a story to tell. Story time!
Story time!
About the past 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, I played a couple of shows those nights. The first was on Monday up in Fort Lauderdale at this bar/tattoo parlor called Creepy Tiki. Yes, they do have a lot of tiki sculptures and, tropical imagery and all that. And I gotta tell you, speaking of Hurricane Matthew, when I was driving up there, by the time I got there, it was pouring down hard. Viciously. I'm not even sure that was the hurricane's doing, because that was all the way down elsewhere. Yeah, my band, we were opening for this band touring all the way from Chicago called Vivian K, and I ended up having to, borrow their kit for the show, even though I brought mine. Thing was, the rain was, so bad that I couldn't get my drum stuff in by the time we had to, set up and play. Although, by the time I ended up getting a couple things out of my car, just the bare minimum that I needed to hook up with their set, apparently the rain had already stopped then, so it's like the universe is playing tricks on me.
Damn.
Yeah, we played with them, although sadly I didn't stick around because I had to, get back home so I could get all the drum stuff back in the house before the rain kicked back up. Also because I had to wake up early because I finally started my job this week.
Yay!
Alright!
Yay!
Get money.
And then on Tuesday, I played another show, definitely much closer to my house this time. One of those little punk, in-the-know venues. You only know if you're, a punk in the scene, man. And this was another one that Vivian K was playing as well. We were the second band that went on that night. The opener was this brand newly formed band called Strawberry Sounds. Some weird, indie, emo crossover thing. They're alright. That's basically about it. We played our set. Things went pretty damn smoothly. Although, again, because of, weather concerns, I ended up having to, freaking, hook it back to my place before, the rain kicked in. I didn't get to see Vivian K either time, though. Sad face.
Sad face. A small tear is falling down my cheek.
Give me the Kleenex.
It's cool. We're probably going to end up, touring West Coast over the holidays, Christmas break anyway, so who knows? At some point, we might end up finding an excuse to pass through Chicago.
Hey, maybe you can find Rob Scallon there.
Wait, he's from Chicago?
As far as I know, he's from the Chicago area.
Oh yeah, he does those Nostalgia Critic videos sometimes.
Yeah, he goes to Chicago Music Exchange all the time as well.
Ah, yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's basically all I have to say about my stories of playing shows, and we're about to get, of course, into the new music, but you know what, now I think about it, I should probably ask, how are you guys doing?
Doing alright.
Well, please ask that, this Monday, I turned 26.
Woo! Hey, happy belated birthday!
I'm a year older!
Yeah, we would sing the song, but somebody would sue us for copyright infringement.
Oh, dude, didn't you hear? They proved in court that the copyright no longer holds.
Not with YouTube, remember.
Yeah, but who cares? It's YouTube.
Yeah.
What's it they're gonna do?
Shut this place down.
Ha! Good luck finding us.
Hey, you never know. Those YouTube heroes might be scourging the internet looking for that one little thing to get their claws sunk into.
YouTube comes up with more bad ideas than Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin combined.
What about Stan Smith?
Okay, yeah, we can throw him in there too.
Yeah, sure.
Although, honestly, Homer and Peter alone are what you need to drive the stupidity over critical mass.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's all the formalities. One more thing, though. This isn't a correction like I usually do. This is an addendum to something that Alex and I were unclear on. When we mentioned that the art director for Metalocalypse was the same that worked on Comedy Central's Moonbeam City, we were unsure of what his name is. And I was checking it up on IMDb earlier. His name is Antonio Canobio.
That's the guy.
Antonio Canobio?
That's the guy.
Yeah, I think he also did art direction for some other notable shows. I think the 2003 Ninja Turtles show as well.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep, so we finally had that straightened out.
Hooray.
And now is the point where, as always, we'll start off with the new music that, of course, quite a handful of it over, like, shit, I had to, like, edit it down because there was just, like, so much. So I just picked, like, some of the more noticeable ones. Also, if you're listening on YouTube, there will be a playlist in the description for all the music discussed this week, or at least all the songs I can find posted on YouTube, because they're not always posted on YouTube. So if you want to listen along as we discuss, go right ahead and click that link. And to begin, the band Oozing Wound, a Chicago-based thrash outfit, is dropping their third album, Whatever Forever, due out October 14th. That name might actually sound familiar to some of you. They had a song on the 2014 Adult Swim Singles program, which is how I first heard of them, titled Drug Reference. The drug reference is that the song was exactly 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. Comedy!
Pot jokes.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, because if you ever listen to Oozing Wound, the easiest way that I can sell you on their sound, this is basically what thrash metal sounds like on acid. And I mean that in a good way, of course.
Well, of course. Everything sounds better when you're on acid.
Not everything. I can probably think of a few things. But anyway, they dropped the video for a new song called Diver, which is off that album. And of course, it shreds pretty goddamn hard as always, with its very, like, rough and gritty guitar tones, the almost kind of black metal-ish vocal production, except it doesn't sound crappy like most black metal vocals. Yeah, very lo-fi, drums are cool, and I think just in general, like, my favorite particular sort of section of the song is sort of, like, near the end, where it starts getting into this kind of, where it goes from just, like, straight, like, experimental thrash to this more post-metal-ish kind of thing, where it's all, like, you know, it feels weirdly kind of floaty, despite the fact that there's, you know, like, guitars and, you know, actual, like, pounding drums. It almost kind of feels like Russian Circles, like a really heavy Russian Circles jam. You know what I mean?
Kind of. I took a look at the video for this song. I like the music, but the video kind of gave me a headache with all the stuttering going on with it.
I mean, I do kind of have to agree with that. I obviously see what, like, they were going for. You know, it stutters in rhythm with, like, the actual riffs and the beat of the song.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it does kind of cause a bit of eye strain. It almost kind of reminds me of, like, that one Bring Me the Horizon music video. Shadow Moses, I believe, where it does kind of have, like, a weird back and forth stutter thing to it. Also, the douchebag ran over a fucking puppy.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously it was fake, like, it was a stuffed animal,
Okay.
but still, what the heck does a puppy ever do to you? What is this, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Oh, damn.
Anime references! Ha
Hey, we're killing two birds with one stone here.
Yeah.
We're nerds.
So, yeah, Oozing Wound, Diver, good song. Really look forward to the album. Up next, this is an artist that I remember finding out about a while ago by accident, because I was searching the internet to find requests to do for a friend's radio show that one of my friends does over at my college. This nerdy, kind of nerdcore rapper from, I believe, New York City named Sammus, spelled with 2 M's if you're planning on looking that up. She's dropped a handful of EPs, the most recent one, I believe, last year, called Another M. In case you can't tell, she has a fascination with Metroid.
Really?
And she's set to drop her debut album on October 28th, titled Pieces in Space. And she dropped the first single titled Weirdo featuring Homeboy Sandman, which is a cool, like, rapper name, I'll admit.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty cool little rap song, you know. Obviously, as the title implies, it's all about, lyrically, it's all about how it feels to be an outcast, whether it be because you're a geek or because Sammus in particular, you know, being a person of color, a black person, and we know how people have been treating them recently because of reasons.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, shit, in the lyrics, there's even a reference to that guy who, like, he specifically died because the cop was fucking stomping on his neck. Yeah, it's kind of weird how it goes from, it's almost kind of like jarring in a way. Like, it goes from just, you know, I'm an outcast because I'm into, you know, like anime and like, you know, geek shit, to I'm an outcast because the police think I'm different because I'm black. It's kind of a jarring, almost kind of like two sides of a coin, basically.
Yeah, that's some serious mood whiplash right there.
But, you know, I think, like, the actual
Pretty much.
lyricism generally is, like, interesting enough that it kind of feels, like, coherent. My favorite line in the song, this actually isn't, like, related to any of the commentary, but this is just one line I like because of the stupid pun. I believe it goes something like, something, what that hoe say, and I didn't say Cuervo. Get it?
Yeah, that's an alcohol reference. I know you get it.
Absolutely.
Ew. Oh shit! Now I do get it.
So yeah, those are my thoughts. Did either of you have any other
Took me
thoughts?
a while. Yeah. Me, yeah. I listened to the song like 2 or 3 times. I thought the song was a decent song, got a good beat. I will say the mood whiplash. Yeah, I kind of do get the whole black outcast. You know, being myself as a person that likes anime and all that shit. But yeah, I got a good decent track out of this.
Yep, good song. So that's Pieces in Space, October 28th from Sammus. Keep an eye out for that. Up next, remember how last week we mentioned that Steel Panther were working on a sitcom?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Turns out they also have an album, a new album in the works, titled, of course, Lower the Bar.
Yeah.
Because, you know, what else are you going to do when you're like a comedic glam rock band?
Yep.
And they dropped the first single from that album, which is actually a cover of the Cheap Trick classic She's Tight, even featuring a member of Cheap Trick in the song itself. I can't recall what the original sounds like, though, even though I know I should, because I do like me some Cheap Trick. Shit, I even saw them live when they opened for Aerosmith, like, way long ago.
Yeah, pretty good song. I actually didn't know before now that was actually a Cheap Trick cover, because the initial starting riff of the song sounded a lot like Poison than Cheap Trick. But I guess that's the gimmick, right?
Yeah, like, it's, you know, like, obviously, like, a mocking spoof of 80s glam rock.
Yeah. We all know about Steel Panther. We know what their gimmick is. Yep.
So obviously, like, you know, they try to emulate that sound. And yeah, I did kind of get that Poison vibe as well. Like, there was a specific song on the tip. I couldn't think of the song, but it was on the tip of my tongue. I'll probably have to verify that once we're done recording. But yeah, I thought it was, you know, pretty funny and amusing, especially the video, which has all kinds of stupid jokes and sex gags, and the drummer repeatedly losing his sticks over and over again.
And boobs!
Yes, many boobs. Shit, I think even Michael Jackson's daughter was in the video.
Yep. 2 of which were bare. Yeah.
This is starting to get very uncomfortable.
Only for you.
So yeah, bottom line, fun jam from Steel Panther, and you can look forward to Lower the Bar coming out February 24th. So, you got quite a ways to go from... You got, like, that's like, what, 4 months away? 4 or 5?
4 months away. 4.5 months.
Alright, cool. And now, up next, time for Alex and I to get our prog snobbery on, as Animals as Leaders have officially dropped the first single from their upcoming album, The Madness of Many, titled The Brain Dance.
Oh, so chill. I love it.
Yeah, this is no doubt one of those, even though it's chill, like, as far as the vibe, it's definitely not chill as far as the technique, because, you know, Tosin Abasi, he's got to finger that guitar.
Mm-hmm. Not just Tosin, but Javier Reyes as well. A lot of classical nylon guitar playing going on there, and it just, it sounds so good.
Yeah, especially like those kind of like typically, like, you hear those, like, really rattly lower end, like, guitar, because obviously they don't have bass, so they gotta find a way to work some kind of bass-like sound in there.
Mm-hmm. Hence the 8-string models.
Yep. Shit, the song doesn't even have, like, much overdrive or distortion to it. Only, like, I think maybe 30 or 40 seconds total at the entire song has any kind of distortion.
Yeah.
It's like a 7-minute song.
Mm-hmm. It's just the main focal point of that song is that classical nylon pattern, probably played by Javier. I can see Tosin playing, classical nylon guitars like Javier does. But yeah, this song is great.
Damn right. Madness of Many's coming out November 11th, and you bet I'm going to be there day one to get it in my collection. Especially now that I can afford to.
Hey.
Yay. Up next, I've mentioned before that I'm a fan of the band Sleigh Bells, despite the fact that they kind of frustrate me sometimes, because it's like, every time they put out like a couple of good songs, it almost always seems like they counterbalance that with like a bad song, and they've released 4 singles already, well, including this new one, from their upcoming November 11th release, Jessica Rabbit. This new one is titled I Can Only Stare, and oh my god, they're going full pop again. Why? Sleigh Bells, you're not good at doing full pop. You're at your best when you're incorporating, that loud, like really loud, like catchy, like pop rock, like with the loud guitars and pounding drum. The kind of thing that would sound really cool in like a big like festival or arena setting. But this song, I Can Only Stare. Okay, let me try to sum this song up as best I can. Imagine Alicia Keys as performed by a white chick.
Ugh.
Oh no.
You just gave me serious chills with that.
Seriously, like, I hear the beat, and for some reason, the first thing my mind wanders to is, this girl is on fire! Except, with a white chick.
Right.
Okay,
this
no.
Is about, like, frustrating. Like, okay, the past 2 singles they released were pretty good, and I was looking up hope that they'd be able to redeem themselves after their 3rd album, which I still consider overall their weakest. But then they do this, and I'm like, we're right back to square one.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's the basic gist of it. You gotta stop frustrating me, Sleigh Bells. I wanna like you. I wanna go back to, like, the days of your 1st and 2nd albums. But life goes on. Anyway, up next, speaking of people that I like doing things that frustrate me, you know who writes a lot of fun music? Andrew WK.
He does.
I've heard of him before.
He's also really fun live. Trust me, I know. I actually, won tickets to a show of his, I believe last year. I even chose to, hang around until, way after the show was over so I can even get a picture of the guy. He's freaking huge. But for some reason, he decided to team up with these 2 producers named MAKJ and Timmy Turner. Yes, really.
What the fuck?
Did you say that right?
Wait. What do you mean Timmy Trumpet? Wait,
no, it actually, in the article, I misspelled that. It actually is Timmy Turner.
Hey, Timmy Turner.
Yeah, don't.
Timmy Turner. I wasn't.
And apparently these were 2 guys that he met at, the Ultra Music Festival in, of course, my neck of the woods. And he recorded an EDM track with them, of course titled Party Till We Die. And it is so annoying. It basically just sounds like every cliche, filler EDM song ever. And the worst part of it is, it doesn't even make sense. The appeal for me of Andrew WK is that he's writing, the kind of party-minded music that you would expect out of EDM, but he applies it to a rock context, which is something that, surprisingly, you don't hear much of anymore. It used to be big back in the day. Of course, probably the biggest purveyors of party rock music were Kiss.
Yeah.
But, it kind of feels like that well's dried up, and he kind of, tried to, kickstart it a little. But this, you're robbing Andrew WK of any, of his signature identity. And what you're left with is just lousy.
Here's the thing, though, Rob. Rock is dead. When the bulk of what is considered mainstream rock music is made up of Imagine Dragons and 21 Pilots, we're in trouble.
Oh, dude, you act like I'm not aware of that. See, this is why I listen to my college radio station, where they can play some legit rock and not... I think about it, I haven't heard a single 21 Pilots song. I couldn't even tell you what one sounded like. But
yeah, when I first listened to this, I listened to it like the first minute. I'm like, I want to turn this shit off. I don't want to listen to more of this shit. This is some boring, obnoxious, garbage EDM shit that I just don't want to hear no more. I mean, I heard better EDM shit than this. At least one that actually got me into it. I mean, hell, even Calvin Harris make better shit than this, and I'm not a fan of Calvin Harris.
I'm not either. Yeah, but yeah, I can't blame you for wanting to shut it off.
At least Calvin Harris had that one song.
Yeah, one song.
Yeah,
that totally makes up for the rest. It doesn't.
It was acceptable in the 80s. It was acceptable at the time.
But let's move on. If I linger on this anymore, I'm going to get a headache. And now we can move on to actual awesome music, because we have not one, but 2 Adult Swim singles that dropped since the last time we recorded. First up, the return of Flying Lotus's rap ego, Captain Murphy, who dropped a new single titled Crowned. And, the fact that this dropped right before October makes me so happy, because this is exactly the song that I need to get me in the Halloween mindset. Because you remember, the last single he dropped with the Adult Swim singles program as Captain Murphy was Cosplay, which kind of had like this 50s sci-fi horror vibe to its production and its beat. Crowned, the beat is more low and suspenseful with this low, like, woodwind instrument. Like, I say it kind of sounds like the subdued version of the score to an Alfred Hitchcock or a Stanley Kubrick film. And then the actual vocals kick in. This time he's kind of doing, like, this deep voice thing that's kind of akin to, like, you know how, like, on the first few Tyler, the Creator albums, he sometimes, like, has these sketches where he's, like, talking to, like, a deep voice therapist, sort of?
Oh, yeah. You mean on Wolf?
Yeah, on Wolf. It's that same kind of deep voice as he's talking about the hell and the mischief that he's going to raise on one particularly dangerous night. This song is so good. Oh my god.
And once again, for me, another those songs I consider I might add on my list when once it ends. This is another great song coming from Captain Murphy, Flying Lotus, and then I gotta say here's the whole Hitchcock music feel to it. I really dug that the whole part of the song, and listen to that like 4 or 5 times. I gotta say I kind of want another Captain Murphy project. To be honest, I kind of want to hear another Captain Murphy project.
Yep.
Your thoughts, Alex?
Pretty hype track. That's all I gotta say.
Short, sweet, and to the point. And now going from hype track to, oh man, okay. Maybe I'm the wrong type of person to give an opinion about this kind of song, because I'll introduce first. Okay, so the Adult Swim single for this week was a track from the SremmLife Crew, a collective that consists of not just the up-and-coming pop rap duo Ray Shremmer, but also their various homies that they've, that they know, their connections that they've hooked up with. In this particular case, the featured rappers are BoBo Swae. God, I feel like such an idiot for saying that. That's what you call a baby gorilla. That's not a rap name. And, of course, one half of the Ray Shremmer duo, Swae Lee.
Damn.
Now, before I let Mark get into this, I want to go on this quick tangent real quick. This past Friday, when I got out of a student, club meeting, I was walking back to my car in the nearby garage, and, I'm walking down the sidewalk. Then I look at the sidewalk that's, like, at most, it has to be, like, I guess 5 or 10 feet away. I look over and I see these 2 guys, and I'm like, those guys kind of look like Ray Shremmer. And then later I found out it was friggin' Ray Shremmer. What the hell are those guys doing on my university campus? Like, they could be fucking bitches right now.
Or making money.
Anyway, I just want to get out of the way. Mark, go ahead.
Anyway, the song they got out is called "Ball Out the Lot," and and the song is basically, they live their awesome life, fucking bitches, all that shit. Now, for me, the song, I'm not a Ray Shrimmer fan. I don't really care for none of their shit, and I don't care for No Type or No Flex Zone. I'm not really a fan of their shit, but with this one, it's the same typical shit, but I can at least say I can listen to it a couple of times. I wouldn't defend this shit like something Rob should know. Like, to me, this song is like another. You're gonna be saying this. You know how I made my Adult Swim singles list for previous years. If I were mention, I put. Oh God, you gotta kill me. Future Coop. Okay, Coop by Future. This is
1 million years dungeon.
Put the gun away. This is to be like that. I wouldn't like I said. I wouldn't offend this shit. I wouldn't secretly say, I will bump to it once now and then. But it is what it is. Just some typical rap banger that might get little play. But I wouldn't praise it. Just
here's the thing for me though, I'm not one of those super pretentious real hip hop, every MC has to be a lyrical miracle spiritual type of guy. I can deal with some turn up music every once in a while. For fuck's sake, I like Diane Word. That's basically all they do. But the thing for me about Ray Shrimmer and their associated rappers and producers is that their music is too low key generally for me to actually turn up to. I need something with a pulse, and this is just too it doesn't get me in the mood. Although I will say there's one thing about the beat that I really like. It's this haunting, you hear the sound of a woman singing a melody of some kind, just looped throughout the entire song. And I like how it's haunting, and it adds this decent melody to, what's otherwise, typical trap rap shit. But other than that, this one's just a dud. By the way, we got I think 5 more weeks of the program.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Wait, hold up.
Yeah, this is the 20th week, so
yeah,
and it's 25 weeks, so 5 more.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't mention that Diane Ward isn't going to be on the.
Oh yeah, I forgot. According to something that Jason DeMarco tweeted when the Captain Murphy single came out, apparently they had to drop from the singles program for whatever reason. So I don't know what the plan is. I don't know if the SremmLife Crew... My theory currently is that maybe the SremmLife Crew track is a different thing from just the straight-up Ray Shremmer track that they said they were going to have. So that could be it. Or maybe they're still working on a contingency plan. Please tell me they get Carly Rae Jepsen. That's just me, though.
I don't know. Well, bitch.
I am not going to dignify that with a response.
Oh, okay then. You don't have to. Although I will expect you to dignify this with a response. I cannot believe... It still mystifies me, and I'm not even sure science could explain. How in the holy mother of fuck is Korn still around?
You'd be surprised.
Asian fans.
I am surprised. I'm pretty sure, didn't we all agree to stop giving a shit about them after they released whatever album Twisted Transistor was on?
Supposedly, then Terry Bozzio decided to get his panties in the wad on that other album.
Yes, he did. And then they just kept going, and I think at one point their old guitarist joined back. Then they did have one album with Skrillex. Or, no, not Skrillex specifically, just that dubstep album. Ugh. And now they're dropping in another album, The Serenity of Suffering, on October 21st. And they dropped the single A Different World, which features guest vocals from, of all people, the front man of my favorite band, Corey Taylor of Slipknot fame.
You sound so enthusiastic when you talk about this.
Look, it's just how can anyone... Okay, if Korn is still going at this point, that means there are clearly people who are still enthusiastic about Korn, enough people enthusiastic about Korn to justify the recording of new material instead of just, being like Aerosmith and touring on a backlog of greatest hits. It's just, this doesn't make sense to me. And, the song...
Should we talk about the song?
What does it say? It sounds like every Korn song. It has a lot of low-end, 7-string guitars, and, those higher chords. There's those weird, chorusy leads. Jonathan Davis whines some shit that's probably about his daddy issues. And then, you listen to Corey Taylor actually try to breathe some life into the track, even though this is beneath him.
Okay, I will say some more favorable words about this. One, it's good. Not great, but it's good. It reminds me a lot of the songs off the Untouchables album, which, again, good. Two, we are so far behind the dark days of Jonathan Davis and Fred Durst rapping about their gay love for each other. Let's be thankful we have this now, because it could be so much worse.
I guess.
Yeah, just look on the bright side of things.
I try. I try.
Look on the bright side.
If I am going to be on the bright side, Corey Taylor, of course, being the, fantastic vocalist he is, brings his A game here. But, you gotta wonder, doesn't the man have better things to do with his time? Tweeting at the people from Channel Awesome or something?
Well, he does have that Apple Music show he does.
I wouldn't know. I don't have Apple Music.
Well,
Stop rubbing your Apple Music subscription in our faces.
Fine.
Anyway, so on to one last song, and this one is more or less for me only, because I can't imagine either of you will understand any of what I'm talking about. Everybody likes a good supergroup here and there, right? A bunch of different people, a bunch of other popular bands, all teaming up together to, do their own thing. Well, there's been a new one that's recently emerged called Crystal Fairy, which consists of 2 members of the Melvins, which I feel like I should mention this. I saw them live back in April when they were touring with Napalm Death and Melt Banana, and even though I'm not a big fan of the Melvins, they're great live. One of the members from At the Drive-In, and Terry Genderbender, the front woman of the New Mexico-based punk outfit Les Butcherettes, who I actually remember seeing live in my junior year of high school when they opened for the Deftones' Dillinger Escape Plan. Yeah, these members have teamed up for the band Crystal Fairy, who are dropping their self-titled on February 24th, their self-titled debut album. And they released the first single titled Drugs on the Bus. And I gotta tell you, this song kind of hit a really good sweet spot for me, because I have a soft spot for what I call Southern fried hard rock. Stuff that's in the vein of Kylesa or Queens of the Stone Age. In fact, I would say the song is kind of a mix of Kylesa, Queens, and that old band Iron Butterfly. It's got those very chunky, thick guitar riffs, this kind of offbeat kind of wailing vocals, and just this trippy vibe and this off-kilter rhythm. It's obviously not a straight 4/4. It just keeps switching up quite a bit. Yeah, and even I'd say closest reference point, probably think something off of Queens of the Stone Age's Rated R or Songs for the Deaf. Which, if you've never heard those albums, what's wrong with you? Anyway, I thought it was a pretty fun track, and I'm definitely inclined to check out the album, which is, as I said, coming out February 24th. That's another one you gotta look forward to in 4 months.
That's gonna be a good day for you then.
Indeed. Yeah. So that covers all the music for this week. So after this prelude, we are going to move on to the news. Alright, now it's time for the news, and unfortunately we have to start off with a couple of down notes. First off, another person in the music industry died!
Oh, damn. Yeah.
This time, it's famed pop songwriter Rod Temperton, who, if you've never heard that name, just know this is the man who wrote Thriller.
When will your bloodlust be over, 2016?
In December.
Freaking damn. This man wrote, what is no doubt the biggest pop hit of all time, and he just bites the dust like that. Jeez, like, what happened?
All because of cancer.
This is not a good year for anyone.
Especially in music, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Prince, Bowie, Rod Temperton, just to name a few.
Like they say, I'm convinced this is basically the final season of humanity, and the writers are going nuts.
Oh.
I may have that from Twitter or something.
Yeah. George R.R. Martin is writing real life.
Oh, damn. Can we get a new showrunner?
Oh, I know. Let's get Hirohiko Araki.
Oh, fuck.
I'm just full of weeb references today. But now on to something that I'm not going to crack any jokes over, because this is really sad. Famed rapper Kid Cudi hasn't had the best time recently. His most recent album, Speeding Bullet to Heaven, got pretty thrashed by critics, and he seemed pretty upset about that. While he's been working on a new album coming out probably sometime in the next few months, it was announced earlier this week that he had to check into rehab for depression and anxiety issues.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised, because if you ever paid close attention to his lyrics, it's clear that a lot of them are about him trying to struggle with, anxiety and depression itself. So I can't be surprised that he's, actually trying to, do something about it, once and for all, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depression isn't necessarily is for people to deal with. I just hope the brother, I hope eventually the brother knows, eventually, what I'm saying, that is the best to deal with, especially considering that, you're not getting some good word of mouth for the album, and I do hope the brother get back on his feet with his stuff. It is the best to deal with.
Yeah, it must take a lot out of you to actually be openly public about this kind of issue. So,
yeah, and just to chime in on this, I dealt with depression and anxiety for a long time. I can relate to how much it fucks you up in the head. So, all I can say to him, if somehow he listens to this, get better soon.
Yeah, same here for me.
All of us here at Decibel Boost Podcast, we hope you get better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it for the depressing stuff. So, I guess on to everything else. I've noticed that my Facebook feed tends to usually beam and get overecstatic about 3 music festivals in particular. There's 3 Points, which is happening over this weekend, and I'm so upset I can't go. There's the Ultra Music Festival, and then there's the Maryland Deathfest, and this is obviously the one that all my metal friends are always into. The Baltimore-based metal festival, which I think is definitely one of the biggest metal festivals, if not the biggest metal festival in America at least, have unveiled the final full lineup for next year's edition, which is taking place May 25th through the 28th, of course, in Baltimore, Maryland. And it's a pretty stacked lineup of, metal acts. I'm gonna name the biggest, act on the list, the death metal icons Morbid Angel, who presumably are still trying to do damage control for Elude Divinium Insanus. You've heard that album, right, Alex?
I can't say that I have.
Don't.
I just know when to laugh.
It's the death metal equivalent of Saint Anger. The kind of thing that you need to get several lashings for.
Oh. And
publicly apologize.
Overly work over Pro Tools as well?
Dude, they went from death metal to crappy industrial metal, Power Man 5000 style garbage.
Oh. Ew.
Ugh. So yeah, Morbid Angel, definitely the biggest act, although there's still plenty of other big acts. There's Tiamat, there's another couple of my favorite death metal bands, Vader and Cryptopsy, who I actually saw live quite a while ago. I want to say back in May last year, I believe. There's Exhumer, Insect Warfare, Terrorizer, Eve, the Singaporean grindcore band Wormrot, who I believe I've mentioned on this podcast before. Dope Throne. There is a lot of just out and out, heavy as crap metal shit. Although sticking out like a sore thumb is the synthwave producer Ghost. You know, the one without H.
Right.
Which, makes sense because, synthwave, as I've mentioned many times, is the most metal of all electronic genres. And Ghost himself has even mentioned, like, when it comes to the audience that attends his shows, like, it's almost always, like, the majority of it is, like, these gruff, bearded metal dudes. So I can't be surprised that they, put him on a metal festival. But yeah, there's, like, shit, just the bands that I can name alone for me would probably be worth the price of admission. If I can afford to go. And I look forward to all my metal friends bragging in my face about how awesome the festival was. I might be a bit spiteful.
Oh, you might be?
Yes. Okay, and so yeah, Maryland Deathfest, final lineup. Pretty damn good, all things considered. Up next, why the popularity of Fetty Wap just astounds me. Like, the man does not make good music. Like, his voice is annoying, and his beats are so cheap. Like, I imagine these are the kind of beats you'd, like, buy out of, like, a gumball machine for, like, a quarter.
Here's beat number 1. Okay. Here's beat number 47. Alright.
See, this guy gets it.
Okay.
And anyway, Fetty Wap was actually in the news anyway, because he is being sued by a Danish musician named Lazar Lakik over claims that he purchased the exclusive rights to the instrumental of his big breakout hit Trap Queen, and apparently Fetty Wap never actually, like, properly compensated for the success of the song. So I'm guessing he, like, skimped out on paying the man what he owes.
Oh, that's a big no-no.
Well, dang, that's fucked up.
There's a part of me that's hoping that, Fetty Wap gets his comeuppance, because, seriously, fuck Trap Queen. And again, I believe Alex made off on this on an earlier episode, probably the pilot, in fact, but if you are going to, use samples and stuff, one, make sure all the rights and permissions are cleared through and through. Second, pay motherfuckers what you owe them.
Yeah. It's not just engineers who have to deal with cheap musicians. It's other musicians who have to deal with cheap musicians.
The vicious circle of life. Everyone sucks.
Everyone sucks. Everyone's a cheap bastard.
Pretty much.
Suck.
Yeah. Yeah, like in 2016.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I brought that around.
Yeah.
Now, on to, news of musical mergers and potential acquisitions. SoundCloud. We all know SoundCloud. That website that, like, is a 100-minute limit on how much music you can upload per month, which kind of makes it a shitty place to post podcasts unless you pay out the ass. They've been trying to figure out ways to, like, obtain more money through their services, even though, despite how popular they are, they kind of, like, don't have that much going for them. So, let's see what Spotify is going to do about it, because apparently they're in, quote, advanced talks to acquire SoundCloud for themselves. Because that's what we need. Giant musical companies merging. Competition? What's that?
And here's the thing about that, though. Spotify doesn't make money. So how can they buy something that doesn't make money if they themselves don't make money?
I don't know. Ask Donald Trump.
Seriously. Yes, Spotify, a company that loses money and pays very, very, very minimal royalties to artists, looking to buy another service? No. That ain't happening.
It's 4 cents.
I mean, the weird thing is, like, according to this article I'm looking at now, back in July, apparently the asking price to purchase SoundCloud, because they were still looking to get acquired by a bigger company at the time, was like $1 billion. And apparently that still hasn't changed. So, to Alex's point, if Spotify, despite how popular they are still hemorrhaging money, how the holy mother of shit can they put up the cash for, like, freaking SoundCloud?
Prostitution?
I don't know. The ins and outs of music business astound me.
Oh, and here's a title update. Not sold yet.
Those bastards are sinking on their own ship.
Yeah.
One last thing. If Spotify does manage to acquire, SoundCloud, can they please lower the cost of, unlimited uploads? Please? Or at the very least, give me the option of doing, a monthly payment instead of having to pay out the ass all at once for a full year, Work with me here!
We can only hope.
Then I can actually use it as a reliable outlet for the podcast.
We can only hope.
Well, all the stuff musicians or artists trying to get their stuff out there.
So now we move from that to, I don't even know, with this one. I'm not sure what my reaction should be, but I'm going to let Alex, set this one up.
Okay, so hopefully some of you out there know who and what BABYMETAL is. They are a Japanese trio of 3 teenage girls who sing metal songs with their backing band, and they are heavy as all hell. And now they're going to get their own animated cartoon series from Warner Brothers Animation and their subsidiary, Blue Ribbon Content. And Rob, I blame you for getting me obsessed with these 3.
Dude, I thought you were already into them.
No!
When I told you, I was like, how could you... Okay, Alex, you are a metalhead and you are a weebster. There's really no way on this earth that the time I told you about that one BABYMETAL song could have been the first time you ever actually listened to BABYMETAL. There's no way, unless you suck at being a weeb.
Oh, believe it. Believe it, son. Believe it.
I swear to God, I'm punching you for that. You go in the corner. I'm sending you to the gulag for 10,000 days.
I can't help it if I'm not, a super angry metalhead like you are. I'm a depressed motherfucker, which is why I listen to bands like Porcupine Tree, Pain of Salvation, Anathema. That's my side of the coin.
But still, though, come on. Either you're a bad metalhead, you're a bad weeb, or you're a bad metalhead weeb. But yes, Warner Brothers Animation is planning to produce an animated series around the group. It's gonna be a live-action animated hybrid. Live-action consisting of, filmed performance footage, and then the animated segments, basically about, the band and how they use, the power of their music to save the world.
Yeah, with the power of metal.
What else would you do a show based on about this band about?
Yeah. Think of it like that show, Hi Hi Puffy Amayumi, only without all the suck.
I'm not sure I feel like getting into this right now.
That show was terrible.
I will veer into this. I'll just say I didn't think the show was that bad.
No, not here. Not with this guy.
That's it. Damn.
We get it, Alex. You hate J-pop.
No, not all J-pop. I do like me some Utada.
Maybe soon we can get our hands on that album.
It's on iTunes at least.
But yeah, we're gonna have that to look forward to however long in the future it takes to get this. And anyway, moving on from that, this is the weirdest and most frustrating election I'm ever going to live through, I swear.
Just end already!
Yeah, or insert that clip from Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah. The shit out of it.
And this piece of news, of course, relates to the election, because this is... Okay, obviously Hillary Clinton has to find a way to win popularity, because the entirety of her electoral run, pretty much every corner of every political sphere has been slamming the shit out of her repeatedly.
Pretty much.
And, to a certain extent, I kind of can't blame them. I mean, without getting too into my political views, I'll just say I'm not really a fan of any of them.
No, they all suck.
Yes. And
Dang shit.
Her plan, it seems, goes like this. She's attempting to encourage more people to register to vote. And her plan is, if you register through Hillary Clinton's own website, you might get a chance to meet none other than famed rapper Pusha T.
Okay. First, good sentiment, terrible execution. And second, why hasn't Donald Trump countered this with a chance to meet Ted Nugent?
Because no one wants to meet Ted Nugent. Not even Ted Nugent fans want to meet Ted Nugent.
Hey, you'd be surprised how many redneck hicks are going to vote for that guy. You know, all 10 of them. Because they're the only ones who know how to read.
Yeah, redneck jokes. But yeah, like I guess I shouldn't be surprised because if you pay any like extended attention to Pusha T, you know that he actually is like an out and out Clinton supporter. So I guess I don't know how this came about. I assume like maybe like her like political team like found out about this and then sort of, you know, filtered it her way because obviously they're trying to make her hip with the kids. You know, the kids that despise her guts. Yeah. But you kind of have to wonder, I'm not sure if I can find like a number on this, but you kind of have to wonder if this actually worked. Like, if there was any noticeable surge in voter registrations through her site because, whoa, wait, hold up, we get to meet Pusha T? Yo, I want to meet him. He sang that one song where he got Kings of the YouTube, and that was great. I've only heard one Pusha T album, so I wouldn't know the rest of his discography.
Okay, this is kind of confusing and fun at the same time. So Hillary Clinton is trying to appeal to the younger crowd. Okay, I get that, but I'm pretty sure again, type of good music. That's the label, not the label. You know, Pusha T's at. Yep. But yeah, like it's gonna be Pusha T. What's next? Gonna be with Big Sean or fucking Most Def or Designer or any of the motherfuckers there at the label.
Don't jinx it. I don't need to hear Panther on the campaign path.
Oh, no.
I don't need to hear... I don't want to think about Clinton walking out on stage to... I got broads in Atlanta. Twisted Dope Lean in the Phantom.
Okay, but I'm thinking I'm just gonna do that.
The
only thing I can figure out... Why can't you get someone like YG? Why get someone like YG? He did a song called "Fuck Donald Trump."
Can't we get Bernie Sanders and Killer Mike back again?
Yeah, that was the dream team right there.
Yeah,
it was, but most of y'all blew it.
Yeah.
All of y'all blew it.
Let's cut this off now before we get like too deep into the politicals because we got one more
what?
here.
Yeah. This is gonna be hilarious for all of us,
especially for me because it concerns my hometown. It's no secret that ever since Justin Bieber's balls dropped, he became so much more of an indignant little shitbag. Remember, Anne Frank would have been a believer. Never forget.
I'm going to leave this room right now, Robert.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah. What? Oh, you forgot about that, Mark?
Wait, forgot what?
The time he visited Anne Frank's attic, and when he signed in, he was like, she would have been a believer.
Oh, that shit.
And he's been getting into all kinds of other trouble ever since. And it almost seems like most of the time, it's always in South Florida. Like, it seems like there's something about Miami that just kind of brings out the worst in him. To wit, back in 2014, there was an incident involving a paparazzi photographer named Michael Munoz, who apparently snapped some pictures of Justin Bieber, and one of his bodyguards responded by grabbing Michael, dragging him to a nearby Subway sandwich place, and proceeding to turn his face into a meatball marinara sub.
Oh.
$5
No. Bad move.
And so this was 2 years ago, and apparently the Miami legal system has still been attempting to reach out to Bieber to actually, get this issue settled. Munoz, filed suit, and Bieber's lawyers never got back to him. Apparently, now, last Wednesday, I believe, a Miami-Dade judge actually ordered Bieber to fly into Miami to attend court. And here's the thing. If he doesn't do this within 30 days, or in this case it would be 22 days from when we're recording this broadcast, he would face severe legal consequences. Perhaps most significant the Miami PD will be ordered to arrest Bieber on sight should he ever set foot anywhere in Miami.
Hasta mañana, puto pendejo.
Man, this guy just went full on Miami. Just, God damn. Now, I know what some people are going to say there. Some people are going to be like, oh, it's a paparazzi photographer. Who cares? And, you know, to a certain extent, I might be tempted to agree with that because paparazzi are assholes. But here's the thing, though. Paparazzi being an asshole doesn't automatically negate the fact that the asshole bodyguard was an asshole. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, one asshole does not cancel out another asshole.
Like, this doesn't work on mathematics, you know? Negative times a negative does not equal a positive in this scenario.
I was told there would be no math.
Oh, come on. If you want me to get really dense into math, I will. I blame our souls.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
But, yeah, just, Bieber... What the fuck are you even doing with your life? Like, if this is the point where you're at now, where the Miami PD is basically on a manhunt for your ass, you really need to stop and consider your life choices. And if I may get the obvious choice out of the way, it's probably too late to say sorry.
The modern day Leif Garrett.
Yeah, Bieber, you better shape up, or else your next hit gonna be "Where were you now when I got my ass beat by the police?"
Yeah. Stay tuned for the Vince Staples remix. I never remembered police, and that covers all the news for the week. So, last but not least, as always, we'd like to leave you with the new album releases for October 7th, 2016. A couple big ones. A mix of some smaller ones. Like, I kind of had to hunt around, but I did find some ones of note. First off, probably of biggest importance, at least to me and Alex, the newest album from Meshuggah, The Violent Sleep of Reason. It will be a glorious day. And then, up next, Green Day, Revolution Radio.
Oh, Rob, you sound just so happy about that.
Just... I don't even know. Speaking of, I don't even know. A band that I remember fondly from my childhood, and am surprised that they're still around, Sum 41 are releasing a new album titled 13 Voices. All of them in Derek Whibley's head.
Yeah, they're still a thing somehow.
Does it even, like, I don't even think they have, like, most of the lineup. Like, I think Derek's the only original guy left. I don't think, like, I know their drummer's not there anymore, the original drummer. And I don't think their bass player is with them anymore. As far as I know. Anyway, up next, La Orange and Mr. Leaf, you know, the famed hip-hop producer and the famed rapper respectively, are of course dropping the free download of their collaborative effort, The Life and Death of Scenery, via the lovely folks at Adult Swim. So, I imagine you'll probably be checking, you know, the music section of their site as soon as, you know, the clock strikes midnight. Because how could you not? Like, the singles they drop are really damn good, and who doesn't like some free music?
It's free.
Yeah, get on that shit.
Up next, speaking of bands from my childhood, or I guess rather my high school years, the newest album from modern metalcore stalwarts The Devil Wears Prada, titled Transit Blues. Amazing these guys are still going, kind of.
Yep.
There's a new album from the electronic music group Phantogram titled 3. See, because it's their third album, so it's called 3.
Yeah.
Punk rock legends No Effects are releasing a new album titled First Ditch Effort. See what they did there? Like, not Last Ditch Effort, but First.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, a band that I've never been able to get into, but for some reason, all the people in the Facebook music group that I'm in seem to absolutely adore everything this band does, so I'll just mention it anyway. The newest album from experimental post-hardcore act Dance Gavin Dance, titled Mothership. And those are all of the album releases of note for October 7th, 2016. So, of course, now is the part where we tell you where you can find us on various, you know, internet outlets. So, Alex, where can they find you?
Or Azure on the Twitter and the Instagram sometimes.
Sometimes. Like, if you're at a concert, you'll probably post something from there, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Mark, where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at MAKJ. Also on my own site, the amount of hobby where I cover anime, music, TV, movies, all that good shit. Especially this month with all new anime coming out. You hear reviews from me soon, and new fiction coming out soon, possibly coming out the same day as this podcast coming out. So yeah, so yeah, get on that shit.
Damn right. As for me, you can find me on Twitter, AskFM, Instagram at Rob Barracuda. You can also find me on YouTube by the channel name Rob Barracuda, which is likely where you're listening to this podcast. So while you're there, make sure to click subscribe so you'll be notified whenever new episodes of the podcast go up. And of course, this is the official music podcast for Surreal Resolution, which you can find at www.surrealresolution.com. And of course, find the Decibel Boost podcast subdomain, decibelboost.surrealresolution.com. So, make sure to keep that bookmarked so you can listen to the podcast, as well as listen to the gaming podcast, The Training Stage, and reading all the latest articles, because now we're getting into the swing of posting more articles. Heck, Alex has a couple that are anime-related, if that's your thing.
Yep, the new anime season's up, and I'm talking about 3 shows of the season. And they're all pretty good, actually. So, give them a read, what you think, and follow along.
Alright, cool. And as always, shout out to producer Mr. E for graciously letting me use his music for this podcast. And that'll do it for this week. So, until next time, hopefully I survive Hurricane Matthew.